that's that. Got a little lucky in the end, having some invincibility there for that arc explosion. Honestly, I'm not sure how I survived that, but hey, it was a wrap. All right, I hope you guys can hear me. Having a little trouble with my microphone. I'm going to go through this build real quick. Obviously, it's a Wraith. And what I did is I got kind of sick and tired of trying to find everything I wanted. We're not going to worry about this. We're just going to get rid of that and go over the build here. I like to show it while I'm in my Golden Eagle. Woo, going to bump into things. Here's my Wraith. Kind of liking my paint job. Woo. We can quick repair it. Why not? And we can quick restore. Alright. So let's go right to the perks. Like always, can't use close call. Don't like it. It makes things too easy. This instantly triggers your shield, so we are running an actual shield. I decided not to do the SH shield, the no shield, because, well, yeah, this kind of feels like it goes against the essence of the Wraith. Yeah, my original idea was to try to build it with all Okar gear and legendaries, but I tried some of that and it just didn't quite work out to my liking. I could beat 4,000 with it, but I kind of went back to my bread and butter, what I feel most comfortable with, and this is the results. Okay, here we go. So play it safe. Not that much of a help in this one because we're not cycling through with my normal tricks to keep play it safe running all the time, because we do have our alt that changes our devices. And you can sort of cycle through those a little bit, and you might have noticed I did some of that to keep play it safe going. I was trying to do it at the very end to not die with the arc. Still, I think I got kind of lucky, but it happened. I loved crit happens, love exploitation. We are still using EMP. We're slowing stuff down. So this is kicking in. And critical faculty. See, there's not the alt. The way I've built it, it's almost up 100% of the time. I could have done a little bit better to keep it up and running. I got hit a couple times and didn't kill as fast as I normally do. And there's some stuff that I had deliberately decided not to use because I think, you go to different sites, you see, oh, this is the best, that's the best. Well, let's just do something a different way, okay? Don't always have to use the same weapons, same secondaries. I kind of got an idea. I'll explain that a little bit later. And then, of course, Symphony of Destruction. Why not get the big explosions? And that did kick in a couple times. Would love for this to kick in more. Probably need more precision to get that to happen. All right, let's go to my storage. And, oh, we don't want all that. Right here. Yep, this is our Wraith. We already showed that. Let's do ship first. With the Wraiths, the passes are all the same. No real need to go through that. Just a couple highlights here. It's nice to have the consumables not be used, so you can use entropy more often. I'm not spamming entropy here. It kind of felt a little bit like cheating. I do spam the tactical beam a couple times. You might have seen me get like 3 of those running at once. That was kind of fun. When I was fighting there. Hull damage less, that's great. Spectral form restores weapon boost. I could have used that a little bit better to get my railgun back up and running. I kind of forgot. I just switched to the coil gun anyway. Once your hull gets down low enough, then the coil gun it works pretty well. But when you're full hull, this build with the coil gun not really doing enough damage for my liking. Spectral form, blah blah blah. Thing here is I think any perks or any modifiers, attributes, whatever that are going when that benefit off of cloaking. This actually works with that. So we're getting our cloaking bonuses for damage with this device. And then, yeah, collecting echo fragments. I don't really collect a lot of echo fragments with this. That's not my priority. If I bump into them, I bump into them. It is kind of nice to get that extra boost and do that damage while you're just flying around. But I kind of avoid them, and then I use this to get my minion army going. I just love to have all the zombies pop up and then fight for me. That was what I was kind of trying to do in the different rounds. I know I could have done better. I was gonna talk my way through it, kind of explain what I was doing when I was fighting, but I usually play way worse when I talk, so that's why I just was quiet for the run. In all honesty, I died on my first take because I was trying to talk my way through it, and I think I was being a little bit too cocky. So I decided I'm going to shut up, play, and get the video done. All right, so our usual suspects here for the regular devices. These don't come in play too much because I decided, hey, let's do the Wraith's alt and concentrate on learning how to do these to keep you out of trouble, keep them going, and just have fun with the prototype, the way it was built. I know it's a little kind of weird, but I kind of imagined, what if you were a new OCAR, you were given this prototype ship, you were going through training in the rift, so if you die, you just pop back to life. And how do you learn how to use these, to your benefit? Not a speedrunner, of course, just really kind of methodically going through and learning how to use the devices, when to use them to the best advantage. This, of course, you're going to use once you've killed a bunch of enemies, so you have your minions. This one, you're turning invisible maybe when you're going to attack some of the bigger ships so that you have more damage that you're doing. This, I'm still using terminal velocity. You probably noticed that. And I use this more as a rammer than to get out of trouble. There was a couple times where I had like 6 missiles bearing down on me. So I switched real quick to a smaller enemy, and then I just rammed it and got away from the missiles. So that worked out pretty well. And this one, it's kind of odd because you want your hull to go down and then stay down longer, but have way higher hit points when it's low. So it's kind of, sometimes if you use this, it helps you. Sometimes it doesn't. If you're getting hit a lot and you run into trouble, you can just use this to repair yourself. But then you don't do as much damage. So yeah, 50-50. I distributed these a little bit more because I didn't take the time to try to swap out my legendaries to get the best of what I wanted. Probably should have had more structure here so that when you use the alt and it gets way down here, you're doing more damage but still have more hit points. Did want to bump this up a little more. Ideally about 3,500-ish for as much as you can to get those as close as 3,500. Resistance, meh, not so much. That's what dodging is for, right? And your spectral form or whatever you use to avoid getting hit. All right, let's go right to the build. I've talked enough about that. I saw these 3, and I thought, well, what equipment set uses 3? Well, one of my favorites, Vigilante set. Railgun, like I said in past videos, it does not care what lunacy you're running, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. If it ever had that, it's still going to just do one shot, one kill. And this one, yeah, this is one of my favorites. So I got 25,000 kills with it. Bypassing the shield, this, when that kicks in, you can kind of two-shot some of the big guys, getting that doubling your damage. Let's see here. This I put on almost all my weapons usually. And then here's our own extra little barrage we're doing. And this, I think, comes in really, really handy. Just a fully charged shot, bam, destabilize. I'm thinking that's 100% destabilization for 8 seconds. So that makes a huge difference. It just feels like you're killing stuff way faster when you have that. Let's go to the coil gun. Don't use a coil gun much unless I run out of power and I forget to recharge it with the devices. But what we're doing here, bypassing armor, bypassing shield. We've got the deals, the energy, the ancient 20% again. Blah blah blah. I kind of had this left over from when I was fighting the frigate, so I did the OCAR stuff. Not too sure how much that helps. And then against the capital ship, we're going to get extra 20%. So I usually switch to this gun for the end guy, the end boss. It just seems, because I can fire faster, get all this 20. You're getting that. If it's an OCAR, great. You know, it's already going to be ancient. You get extra, at least that 40% right off the bat. This is a little wimpy. I deliberately did not use Judgment Day. We're seeing Judgment Day being used all the time now in a lot of different videos out there. And I was like, well, if you have entropy and you have these devices, you can keep 30 missiles running. And against the end guy, you can blast through a ton of your missiles in 10 seconds. And then use one of your device chargers, blast through a ton more, use another and if you use entropy, then you get all of your, in 10 seconds, you get all those missiles back again. So you can do that 4 times, and I really didn't use these to get through the other rounds. The ship is tanky enough and powerful enough to where I didn't have to use entropy a whole bunch each round to survive. I'm pretty much just saving these for the end. This missile, this is probably my favorite way to make just regular missiles. Getting that primary, so they're shooting whenever they want to. I know I'm cloaking, but if that exposes you, just dodge. You know, that's what I do. So it's not a big deal if they're firing for free. On the end there, I did fire these from a much greater distance. And so I got some more damage at the beginning. And then as I got closer, this doesn't kick in so much if you're like point blank range. Lock duration. For the capital ships, I'm pretty much just using like dumbfire weapon anyway. I'm keeping the capital ship, the boss, in the center of the screen most of the time, and just firing these like crazy. And then once again, yeah, using entropy to get them back. You know, so yeah, you can pretty much easily fire off 100 of these if you manage your entropy devices right. All right, here, OCAR piece. Yeah, I actually used one. And you might have noticed at the end of the rounds with this, you just wait and until this is going to be regenerating your alt. So you just wait until this fully regenerates your alt. You don't need these alt rechargers, and that works plenty enough for me to go into the end with the full alt right off the bat. I didn't even use it though. Didn't really even use my alt. It's kind of nice to wait between rounds so your alt is available. So you can, vanish, create your minions, repair yourself if you need to, teleport, use it, as a rammer. But against the boss, yeah, it helps, but not that much. And I put destabilized and 10% damage while cloaked. This is going to be destabilizing. You're getting that 60%, hopefully. I tend to kill and then move on and not lock on too fast. But what you can do is lock on to a big baddie, and then shoot the small stuff all around with the railgun. That's the idea. And then once those stacks build up, then you can cloak. Use your entropy cloak, so you get your cloak back. And then you're doing way more damage. You're doing that up to 60%. You're getting another 10% here. You're getting another 10% here for the destabilized. You're also getting the cloaked damage again, 10-20% there. So that's an extra 40% plus the 60 you could possibly get from here. If you have the patience, you're not speed running, and you just got the patience to kill the bigger guys while this is building up. I guess I'm using evolution dual on this one. With the tactical core, I was using the ultimate anytime it was available, so this is just a non-issue. I'm not really worried about this. With terminal velocity, 20% handling is not a big deal anyway, but just use the alt when you got it. That's what I was doing. So the weakness, you don't even realize, you don't even feel it. Rerolled a bunch of times, got the firepower, energy damage. Yeah, there we go. Ascendancy bonuses. The hull repair here. So we're taking, your hull is repaired for 50% of the shield damage you take. Amazing with the Wraith, because you want to constantly fix your hull, but have it low too. I think about 50% hull works pretty well. And then these combat drones really take a lot of heat away from you. Only thing is you run into them. I would love for those to have a little bit extra distance from me, so I don't run into them so much and damage myself. This every 20 seconds, it doesn't really do a whole lot of good in the 4K runs. I was going to use a skirmisher shield, but I decided, why not just constantly have this one replenish itself, so that when it gets hit, it fixes the hull and you can stay in alt way longer. Your alt just seems to last forever that way. I know you can get one hit, but it does take a whole lot with the way this is set up. A whole lot of hits. My last death with the Wraith, I think I got hit by a Viper and then maybe several missiles and a couple other shots before I finally died. So yeah, you can die with this build. And what's the fun of an invincible build, really? If there's no real risk, it's not real fun. I know I've built invincible ships before, probably like 3 or 4 of them now. Even with Wrath of the Ancients, some of my other builds, where they're pretty much, almost idiot proof. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure I have died with them occasionally, but yeah, it's almost, you almost have to try to die with some of my other builds. I would have loved to have this one be kinetic damage. I went 6 and 6. I just got sick of re-rolling, but didn't really make a difference. This is a holdover from when I made my do nothing ships before Wrath of the Ancients came out, and that's why it's maxed out. I think in a future video I'm going to try to make and show people how to get stuff maxed out. There's several times I've explained it on Discord or even Steam, but I haven't really seen people have a video and kind of walk you through how to get these to maximum numbers. So that might be my next video. I don't know. I might do a different build. If somebody says, "Hey, try this," I might try this if I get someone saying, "Hey, we want to see this, we want to see that." Anyway, so this, I was thinking if I had an idea right when I very, very first saw the Wraith, hey, if it's gonna constantly be depleting the hull, but you get more power if your hull is lower, why not just try to have as much whole hit points as possible. So that's why we're using hollow. And the repair, honestly, it almost repairs too much with each hit. But the railgun doesn't care, So the bonus you get from having the hull really, really low, if you just go around shooting all the little guys, this doesn't care. Now, this one, it does make a difference with. The coil gun makes a difference with. And that firepower, precision, structure, utility, that's not bad. Expertise maybe instead of structure. That helps out quite a bit. That 35% damage reduction, working out good. And we just chaos rolled it. And then the True Shepherd, almost perfect. Almost maxed out. Firepower, precision, structure, and resistance this time. That'd be nice if I had expertise instead of resistance on this one. Get that spectral force working better for me. And if you notice here, we went commander. If the devices during alt allows you to make these minions, what's it called? What's this called? Resurgence. They actually help when they die to pop the shield back up. And when that shield pops up, that works with, the passive that fixes your hull. So they're all kind of working in synergy with each other. And yeah, just my first little idea when it first came out actually worked really, really well. So there's that. And resolve, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Don't have armor, so, we're not really getting fixed with armor. Every now and then you'll notice that if you convert a armor drone, that drone will give you armor. So then this kicks in and you can run with this hollow and still have your armor bar build on rare occasion. It's really kind of weird, but it does happen. No armor and still get armor. And then this any kills you get, this would kick in too. And then, okay, my usual suspect here. Terminal velocity. Now, what could you do instead? So variations. I'm staying in alt as long as I can, so I already have a teleporter. But if you switch this to epicenter, I don't even think I got one. I was gonna do that, but I just got sick of trying to get one. You can put epicenter here instead. Excuse me. And do a ton of damage with just boosting and ramming things, because you're gonna get the epicenter bonus for the shockwave. You're gonna get the Wraith bonus for teleporting through things. So you can do both. I don't think you can do it at the same time though, but excuse me. End of summer cold here. So that's why you have terminal velocity, but epicenter would work great. You can even use another booster. Do I have? Yeah, you can use this recon booster. It's okay. It's not great. Of course, you're going to change. You're going to be able to put cloaking and destabilized on that. Maybe with another attribute modifier or whatever of your choice. Here instead, use the teleporter. And then you could actually switch this to Judgment Day. You'd wind up killing things a lot faster, but I just decided not to use it. I think it's kind of overplayed. I just want to show people you don't have to have it or use it in order to beat 4K. And then here's here's our Wrath of the Fallen. Once again, the idea here was to try to create as many millions of your minions, zombies, whatever you want to call them, as possible, so that it pulls the enemy's attention away from you. Wraith, the Okar, already have a harder time seeing you anyway. And the idea here is to make it commander, get this 3-piece commander set. So any of your allies are going to do 10% more damage and 20% damage reduction. So that's great. And then when they die, boom, it's going to charge that shield right back up. So this is charging up, and then bam, it automatically charges your hull back up. And when the shield's charged, this is charged. So they're all just sort of, once again, working in synergy with each other. I've talked many times about how I'm using entropy here. So I'm rushing in at the beginning. I'm blasting with the EMP. I'm using actually I'm blasting in first, hitting entropy, and then hitting the EMP, hitting the tactical beam, using my device charger, the cloaking to get, that's like 60% more damage combination. And then for that 10 seconds, this we're getting, invincibility depending upon how many kills we get. This is constantly protecting us. And it's 40. I changed that. Oh, so we're getting extra missiles on that. I didn't even realize I changed that. I usually run with sustenance. But that's okay. And then this one here, I'm doing damage with it too. Most of the time I run with hard reset, but with the Wraith, I just decided to do more damage faster and get my missiles back. And here we go. Right. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I mean, I've explained this on other videos a little bit better. How that works to get all your beams running and get all your missiles back. And yeah, so, and as you can see, it worked pretty well. Blasted through 4K with almost complete impunity. Didn't really worry about dying hardly at all. Got nicked a few times. Shield got disabled, but having the perk there, so my shutdown is completely gone, and the only thing that's going to happen is like 5% chance, of being disabled for 6 seconds. So it worked really, really well. Yeah, and like always, hope that inspired some of you to get out there, build things a little bit different than what you might see in other videos. Have fun with all the other extra gear that you get. It doesn't have to be built the same way all the time. Don't copy people. See what you can do that fits your own play style. And try a whole bunch of different things. Once you finish 4K, no sense just moving on to another game. You can really get a lot of fun and many hours out of trying to win many different ways. All right, I babbled enough. There you go. There's your Wraith. Bam, get it one last look at it. Yay. Yay. I don't even remember what I did. What did I do for... Oh, yeah. We had the tendrils going and the green. Make it look alien. Bleh. All right, that's it. I'm out. Guys, have a blast. And see you next time, maybe with a bit of a tutorial how to build this stuff easier. All right, later.